Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks bringing you the daily Tesla report for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Before I click through the chart, just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already. Also become a Wicked Stocks YouTube channel subscriber. Share the content if you would with friends and colleagues. And check out wickedstocks.com where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos just like the Tesla report, daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, that is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 ETFs, weekly analysis in the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ 100 index, the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor. We're always looking for 20% moves on those individual stock picks. We've done a lot. Well, we do 8 a month. You can check it all out, all the recent work, all the relevant data at any time by signing up for wickedstocks.com. You get 5 days free trial. So you get free 5 days with a subscription to the wickedstocks.com website. And you can bow out. You can cancel your subscription within 5 days at no cost to you whatsoever. So check out wickedstocks.com, see if you like it, and we'll go from there. So here we are with the charts. I'm going to click on the big picture. The longer term charts, work my way into the day itself. Just a reminder that we came off this long-term channel top several months ago, well above the market now at 328.25. When we were testing it, I mentioned how within a month or two we could fall to channel support, and we did that about 6-7 weeks later. That has held nicely to 245.05. That is the weekly chart. The daily chart comes in at 245.48. This is our base of support and still in reach this week. I'll get to that in a moment. Able to contain 245.08, selling through the rest of the year, above which 297.50, I'm going to say likely by the end of November, the 347.50 formation over the next 3 to 5 months. All true above 245.08. Now, if we close the week below 245.08, it needs to be by a 1% margin. 242.63 or lower sets up a 190s, 180s objective. This widening band of support now between 189.51 and 198.39, then considered a 1 to 2 month objective if we were to close below 245.08 at the end of the week by a 1% margin. But until then, this is your solid bottom-picking territory, 245 handle support. Now, this is kind of still the day itself. We settled Friday below this 2-week channel bottom that is now at 259.36. This is a level that may well contain daily buying pressures. We might test this area today, and below which 245.08 remains, really a 2 to 3 day target. And so I have, all these carefully chosen minor points. They're all well suited for aggressive day traders, but not one of them stands out as more pivotal, if you will, than the others. In other words, having pivot point qualities. They're just all decent trade levels for the day, but I can't say that pushing above one will ultimately indicate the next significant level. A lot of times I would have one here designated as an intraday pivot point, above which we could see 251.36 and below which 245.08, but that is not the way I see the charts today. They're all very tradable. If we happen to, and let me scroll to this chart here, if we happen to push through 259.36 today, 263.62 is likely, and if we close today above 259.36, we should tomorrow test 268.08, which is also a level able to contain daily buying pressures and is the point at this point in time to settle above for yielding this new channel top based in part on Monday's low at 274.29. So I will say, and you can see how close we are to 245.08. 245.08 is once again our long-term trend-defining support that spans almost a year, about 10 months or so from the January low. I'm just going to call it a 1-year channel bottom now. We are pretty close to it as we sit right now. But it is in reach over the next few days below 259.36. Closing above 259.36, expect 268.08. Probably the very next day. So if we close today above 259.36, we should tomorrow, Wednesday, test 268.08, where we can also top out for the day. And on an intra-week basis, it would be a settlement above 268.08 that should yield 274.29, probably the very next day. 274.29. I think we are so close to testing 245.08. Did we drop within 1%? I'm asking you that question out loud right now. And 1% would be 2.45. That would be 247.53. And the low is 248.48. So no. But, I don't really provide the 1%. Let me go back and just kind of articulate this. You probably know what I'm getting at. We've got the 1% downside violation as our risk management, as our stop loss level. But also know that as we drop into the 1% zone above 248.508, it is the beginning of your bottom picking area. It is an area where you could go long. There are so many times where we fall to within 1% but don't actually test, because we're not the only ones watching these formations. And so there are plenty of resting bids that precede it, and that in itself prevents the market from actually testing these line studies to the very tick. But where was I getting at just a moment ago? I was about to make the point that perhaps we've already fallen in the 1% zone of 245.08. I will say that holding above 245.08, I think you can anticipate 274.29 by the end of next week. And I already mentioned at the top of this video how 298.96 is in reach over the next, by the end of November. And that was mentioned when we were looking at the same structure, but on the weekly chart. Anything that needs to be added, I will go over this worst case scenario that if we do happen to close today below 245.08, 226.51 is in reach. I forget exactly hold on a second. I may actually find it here. There it is. Yeah, okay. So here we go. We close today below 245.08. 245.48 is the daily chart, but if we close below 245.08, and yes, that should be by a 1% margin of 242.63 or lower. In other words, if we close today at 244.50, I'm going to come into tomorrow's video, Wednesday's videos, and just say it was too close to call, to consider it to be a reliable sell signal through the rest of the week. But I'll just basically say that if we close below the 245 handle support, 226.51 is then attainable by Friday's close, and you can see that here. But if we close the week, Friday below the 245.08 area by that required 1% margin, the 198.39 level, then likely, I'm going to say by the end of November. And as we continue into December trade, we just might actually test this 189.51 descending channel bottom. But I will cover that closely if we were to close below 245.08. But until then, there's no sense in going there. This is a good image to leave you with for the day. Solid bottom picking territory in the 245 handle, not only for the day, not only for the week, but through the rest of the year. Above which today 259.36 can contain session strength, and holding below 259.36 will keep 245.08 in reach for the rest of the week. Closing above 259.36 signals 268.08 probably tomorrow, where we can place a daily high, and if settled above, should then yield 274.29 the very next day, where we could top out through all of next week. I think that pretty much summarizes. I'm going to leave it at that for Tuesday's test. I'll be back, of course, tomorrow with Wednesdays. Please click like, share, subscribe, and check out wickedstocks.com. You have a great day.